That's the one right there.
Yeah, he's a pretty good ram. He carries his mass out too.
Yeah, he does.
I think he's been groomed, but I think he's still got a lot of length on him. There's a special draw unit for bighorn sheep around this area. It's a once-in-a-lifetime tag. Unfortunately, I didn't draw it, but one of our friends, Kris Anderson, drew it, and we were able to tag along on that hunt with him this year.
I've always put in for this hunting tag, and this dream hunt. When I found out, it's like just in shock. I couldn't believe that I was lucky enough to draw it. So I was pretty excited to show everybody.
He got it, and I was just so jealous, and I was just so happy for him too. He finally got it, and I just couldn't be more happy for him, but I was also really jealous of him.
At first I kind of thought it was a joke. My dad always plays jokes on me, and then I actually saw that he wasn't joking, and I was pretty happy for him. It was one of his hunts he always talks about he wanted to get. And
lived here my whole life. In 2003, I drew a mountain goat tag, and that was a fun hunt. I figured I'd never ever get a sheep tag because the odds of them are like 1 in a million, seems like, and this year happened to be my lucky year.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime tag, so you really need to put your time in, do your homework, and find that sheep. And once you do it, you need to make sure that you found the best one on the mountain, so when you take it, you'll be happy with it the rest of your life.
And then I just started looking at a lot of pictures and books and going by that and just talking to a lot of people. They said, try and find one with big bases and where the tips are broomed off good, real big instead of narrow. And when it ultimately comes down, it doesn't matter about the score, it's whether you're happy with him or not. If you're willing to take that animal and be happy with the one that you took, because you'll probably never ever get another tag.
The reason it's a special tag is because at one point the sheep populations were knocked way down. Due to sportsmen's group like the Boone and Crocket Club, these animals were able to be restored to their native ranges.
The story of our mountain sheep is one of conservation's greatest success stories. The Boone and Crocket Club was actually founded by Theodore Roosevelt in 1887. And there was a close kinship with Roosevelt and mountain sheep. Our mountain sheep were in the path of western expansion. Their numbers declined rapidly, even more so and more rapidly than what happened to our bison, our elk, our mule deer, our pronghorn, because bighorn sheep in particular never existed in the numbers that we associate with elk. There was not vast herds of them, and in very short order, they were almost completely eliminated from a lot of their historic range. Part of the demise we have to lay on the hands of irresponsible hunting practices. Sheep were a unique, regal animal, and they were a favorite target of sportsmen before we had the science, before we had the biology to know that they were a limited opportunity, or should be a limited opportunity animal, therefore their harvest should be tightly regulated. The Boone and Crocket Club, recognizing the plight of the bighorn and seeing that other big game species were recovering, but the bighorn was lagging far behind, hosted a summit here in Missoula in 1970, inviting the brightest minds in the business. The good news is the result of that summit was the formation of the Foundation for North American Wild Sheep, which is now the Wild Sheep Foundation. And there's challenges with that restoration effort. Sheep do not reproduce at an alarming rate. Unfortunately, a pretty robust mountain lion population, and bighorn sheep are a favorite target of our mountain lions, and also disease, pneumonia. Pneumonia is a real Achilles heel for sheep populations. They're a very social animal. Once pneumonia gets into a population, it can spread very rapidly. Just like anything else, when wildlife has a value to people, that resource thrives. That draws advocacy, that draws funding, that draws stewardship, and all user groups benefit. Consequently, the hunting opportunities for bighorn sheep are probably the most controlled of any of our big game species. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. It's not like a deer hunt, it's not like an elk hunt. There's something special about having a sheep tag in your pocket.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Buffalo Bore Ammunition, Montana Department of Agriculture, Rocky Mountain Natural Beef, Loopold, Zenick, and these other fine sponsors. Buffalo Bore Ammunition is premium grade ammunition. It is the most powerful and accurate ammunition made anywhere. Our loads are purpose designed. When the moment of need arises, you are prepared. We make the world's best self-defense pistol ammunition as well as hunting ammunition. Find us at your local retailer or factory direct at buffalobore.com. This segment of Montana Full Circle is brought to you by the Montana Department of Agriculture and Valley County Weed District. For more information about noxious weeds and vegetation management, contact the Montana Department of Agriculture or your local noxious weed department.
Woke up the next morning and we had fresh snow on the ground. We saw some sheep way up high, so we decided to try to get up there and see what kind of ram was in the group. As we were watching the sheep on the mountain, it was really neat watching that fog roll in with the snow on the backs of the sheep and just able to see all those animals up there moving around. Just one of those beautiful fall mornings you always long to see up there in the mountains. As beautiful as it was up there, that fog rolled in and got a little too thick for us to really get a good judge on that ram.
Two decent rams, but I don't know, I think there's a bigger one out here yet we can find. So pretty exciting though to get on them, hearing them grunting and that. They weren't really fighting each other yet, but it's exciting. I think we'll give them some time to settle down, let this fog lift, and we'll see what happens.
The fog was too thick, so we started heading down the mountain, and instantly we were right back into some more sheep. The neat thing about this area is there are sheep all over, and it was really neat to be able to go to different spots, and everywhere you looked, you were finding more sheep.
Okay, which one's bigger? You know, that one's got really big bases, that one, its horns are longer, and well, how old's that one, you think? And trying to count the rings, and it was nerve-wracking to make sure that you got the big one and one that you're going to be happy with.
As we were going around, we were finding so many sheep, and it was really tough to start judging these animals and figure out which was the right one to take. And that's where doing your homework really pays off.
Well, the hunt for a mountain sheep is unlike any other of our species of native North American big game. It's a limited opportunity. People can spend a lifetime drawing a tag. The first thing I would tell you is you have to become a student of the game, looking at photos, looking at past Boone and Crocket record books, seeing what a ram would score and trying to determine why it would score that. What you're looking for primarily is mass. Mass is the key component. Is where your mass measurements come from is you start with a overall length of horn, which is a measurement along the outside curve, all the way out to the tip. You take the longest of the two, that's divided by 4, and that's where you're placing your quarter measurements. The first one's at the base, you got a second quarter, a third quarter, and a fourth quarter, and that's determined by the overall length of horn. When you're field judging, you want to make sure that you're getting as many angles and views as possible. You don't want to assume that, he's not broken off or broomed off on one side. Brooming off is not necessarily a bad thing. While you may lose some horn length, the brooming actually pushes these quarter measurements back, and how well a sheep carries his mass out to the tip is really what drives the score up. That fourth quarter measurement is huge. The good news when it comes to sheep hunting, it's rare that you need to make a snap decision as to whether you're going to take a ram or not. Sheep hunting is a wonderfully unique experience, something to be savored. You're among one of our most regal animals, and knowing that it was through the efforts of sportsmen that brought these species back, that not only can people view them, but in a limited role, we still have the opportunity to hunt them. That's a feather in our cap for sure.
I think that's the same one from yesterday, don't you?
I'll put money on it because it was just right over straight up.
I mean, look at his face right there.
Like, look how gray his face is too. I mean,
I like him.
I think he's an old ram.
I think I should take him.
We'd been watching it, you know, for a couple days, and it's like, is that the right one? We're early in our hunt yet. Oh, you don't want to pull the trigger too soon because, you know, you can't bring the shot back, and like, we got to make sure it's the right one. And we put on some miles, checking them out in different drainages and areas, and like I say, it was nerve-wracking to make sure it was the right one. And
looking at what we can see for the rings, either 8.5 or 9-year-old ram. So that's a pretty nice ram. And the fog's kind of lifted now, and we found this one, and I think this might be the one. Gotta go contemplate. I think he's the one, unless we find another hog.
Loophole Gold Ring optics are built to perform at the highest level.
Every shot, every hunt,
every competition,
every situation.
They're guaranteed for a lifetime of performance.
Because failure is not an option.
You need total confidence in every moment.
Something other optics can't deliver.
That's the power of a true lifetime guarantee.
And 650 of us stand behind it forever.
This segment of Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Natural Beef. Find us on Facebook to order now.
Say, I need to check Kris and Kyle out of school today. I got some stuff that they got to help me with, so. Got to get the boys out of school. This is, you know, once in a lifetime tag basically, and so I'm having them come out of school and be with me for this hunt, so it'll create some memories that'll last a lifetime.
They're my hunting partners. You know, I've been hunting with them ever since Kyle was probably 2 or 3. I mean, they've always gone with me. My oldest was the same, and so it's kind of a tradition that we always hunt together. You know, I do everything with the boys. I mean, we go hunting and fishing, and we do rodeos everywhere. I mean, that's why I had kids, and to do stuff with them. And it's been a great experience always to have my boys with me.
It's really neat to see Kris passing on this hunting tradition to his boys and making sure that they were there. He made it a family event. It's really important that we do pass this on to the younger generation. When Kris was telling me his boys were into rodeo, I just figured, oh, they're out rodeoing, but these boys are actually good at what they do. Winning belt buckles all the time, winning state champion. It's absolutely amazing at how these kids can get out there wrestling steers, roping. I mean, really neat that these boys are able to work together as a team, header and heeler, get out there, work together, and get along like that. It's not always that you see siblings that can get along as good as these two do.
Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, 15 years experience.
We are team partners. I head and he heels, and then we also both calf rope and bulldog. You know, just go have a good time, get a rodeo, do what you love, and have fun at it.
Kris Anderson of Hamilton.
There's nothing greater than seeing families like this day and age. I was able to catch up with these boys one evening at one of the rodeo practices, and it's really neat to see Kris out there with his boys and just taking an active role instead of just a parent in the stands. Really impressive. It takes a special person to be able to spend that much time with their kids and put that much time and energy into them.
No, he's always there and helps support us, and when we're always down, he's there to pick us up and tell us there's always one more to go to. Put the past behind you and focus on the next one.
You know, help. Now the pressure's on Kris. We've seen probably 20 to 30 rams, and now we're looking at pictures trying to figure out which one's the best one. I mean, decision time, it's a tough point, and I don't envy him at all. It's one of these that he's going to live with the rest of his life.
Now, decision time. Oh, there's the one. That's the one right there.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Buffalo Bore Ammunition, Montana Department of Agriculture, Rocky Mountain Natural Beef, Loopold, Zenick, and these other fine sponsors.
If you want to provide hunters with more opportunities than anyone else, you have to be willing to go where nobody else has been. The Apex ground blind from Zenick has gone to the next level to maximize shooting opportunities with the use of a window system that puts the Apex ground blind at the top.
Closed captioning provided by Bitterroot Brewing. After the hunt, enjoy Montana's last best brew.
That's the one. I didn't think that one was him.
So we located what we thought was the ram, but we weren't 100% positive because there was a couple rams that were pretty close in size around there. And it got intense for a few minutes, and it was one of those where it was a quick deal. These sheep were moving.
We just came up, spotted two big rams with all these. One's over here on this ridge, one's down over here. I don't know which one to take. It's, I don't know. Nail biter. It's, oh man.
It's whatever you're happy with.
That one, like I said, I went, oh, look at that one.
Yeah, that was the one. In this unit, we see sheep every day. It's just like typical hunting. You go out there, you see animals all the time, but as soon as you start hunting them, they start disappearing.
We finally decided that that's the one I was gonna take, and he was like calm as could be, and then it was like when he knew that I was ready, he took off like a rocket. And I'm like, oh no, all right, I'm gonna use my rifle. I'm not losing him. And
There he goes, yep.
I'm on him. Get on him again. He's feeling it.
I finally pulled the trigger. It was a little nerve-wracking, but I did it. Had my boys with me, and first kill with my new Weatherby rifle that I won in a contest through the High School Rodeo Association, so that makes it even a little more better. Oh man. Holy. He's even bigger than I was thinking. Oh my.
Your dream finally came true for hunting. It's pretty overwhelming to actually, have him right there in your hands.
That's awesome. And I'm glad my boys are here to help me with it. So when I got my mountain goat, they were still too young to go on that hunt, but they got to be across the canyon on the road and watch me and my other buddy pack it down and sled. So this is even more special.
But it was pretty exciting that they were both there with me and to, fulfill a lifelong dream of finally getting a bighorn sheep.
I was just so proud of my dad, and I was just so happy for him. And
went to the Boone and Crocket Club because I was pretty excited. Said he has a nice ram, and he ended up scoring 183 and 2/8. So yeah, that's pretty neat. So he made the books, and pretty exciting. And
it was really neat to be able to see Kris there with his boys, smiling, high-fiving, joking around and laughing. Just really passing on that hunting tradition and just bringing this whole Montana heritage and lifestyle full circle.